What have you done that your parents punished you for, but it was totally worth the punishment? I stole my parents' car at 16 to save my best friend's life, and I'd do it again in a heartbeat. Jake and I had been friends since kindergarten. His dad was violent, always drunk, and his mom worked night shifts to avoid being home. One night at 2 a.m., Jake called me crying. His dad had broken 3 of his ribs and was threatening to kill him. I could hear the slurred screaming and things breaking in the background. Jake was hiding in his closet, whispering that he could see his dad's feet through the crack under the door. His phone was at 2% battery. My parents were asleep, and their car keys were on the kitchen counter. I knew I'd be grounded forever. I didn't even have my license yet, just a learner's permit. But Jake's house was only 10 minutes away, and I'd watched my parents drive that route hundreds of times. Just as I grabbed the keys, Jake's phone died. The last thing I heard was his dad finding the closet door. My hands were shaking so badly I could barely start the car. I backed out as quietly as possible and drove exactly the speed limit, terrified of being pulled over. When I got to Jake's house, all the lights were on. I could hear shouting from the street. Instead of honking, I threw small rocks at his bedroom window, our old signal from when we were kids. After what felt like forever, Jake's window opened. His face was covered in blood. He could barely walk, but somehow he climbed down the tree outside his window. Just as he reached the bottom, his dad burst into his room. I've never seen someone look so angry. He started climbing out the window after Jake. Jake collapsed in my passenger seat. I slammed the car into drive just as his dad reached the ground. In my rearview mirror, I saw him trying to chase the car. He was so drunk he fell face first onto the sidewalk. I drove straight to the emergency room. Jake had 4 broken ribs, a fractured wrist, and needed 12 stitches in his face. The hospital called the police. When they saw Jake's injuries and his dad's history of arrests, they arrested him that night. My parents showed up at the hospital furious. They'd woken up to find their car and son missing. The nurses had called them since I was underage. They started yelling about how I could have crashed, been arrested, or killed someone. Then they saw Jake. He was lying in the hospital bed, face swollen and bruised, chest wrapped in bandages. The police were taking pictures of his injuries. My parents went silent. They grounded me for 2 months. No phone, no computer, no leaving the house except for school. But every time I complained about being punished, I'd remember Jake's voice whispering from that closet, thinking he was going to die. Jake moved in with his aunt in another state. His dad got 7 years in prison. His mom finally left his dad and got help for her own trauma. Jake graduated high school as valedictorian and got a full scholarship to college.